Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 8th episode of the MANTASTICAL Podcast. I am your host, Trevon Makel, and your other host joining me is...
Dave.
Yeah.
The one and only.
The one and only. So I've been having a weird week. Like, I'm smiling, but, legitimately the last few days sucked so much dick. Like, giant, copious amounts of dick.
And not in a good way.
Not in a good way. Not in a consensual way. That just reminded me. Lil Dicky, the rapper, he has a show on FX where he goes to jail, and he goes to jail for exposing himself to minors by accident because one of the things his character does is he's like a clown, and he was clowning around on stage, and he was like, "You're a good crowd. Do you want to see my nuts?" And then he showed them his nuts, but then police are like, "Yeah, we're gonna have to arrest you. You exposed yourself." So he goes to jail, and in jail, people don't like child molesters or sex offenders. So he's labeled as a sex offender, even though his act was purely kind of innocent. But he has the title of sex offender, and he gets beat up. And he's about to get raped by everyone to death, and he's like, "Well, hold on now, guys. What if instead of raping me to death, what if I give consensual head?" He's trying to bargain to give consensual head instead of getting fucked in the ass to death.
Yeah. Pretty good trade, I'd say.
Yeah.
I didn't know that show was still on.
I'm not sure if it's still running. I'm certain that it might get a second season. Who fucking knows? I don't know.
Yeah, the first seasons came out a while ago now, right? I remember hearing about it, but I don't know if that was before the show aired or if that was
it came out
while it was on.
sometime during quarantine last year. It came out maybe April of last year, I think.
Oh, I thought it was before that.
He might have been
Probably
promoting it before that, but yeah, I don't know.
It's called Dave, right?
Yeah, it's called Dave.
That's right. That's his name, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Interesting. It's also my name.
I know. I think that show's probably gonna get a season 2. I would imagine, just because he's a pretty famous rapper, so he does have the audience to keep promoting it. But then again, I don't fucking understand TV business.
I don't either.
But here's what happened. Why I had such shitty days the past 4 or 5 days.
Lay it on me.
It actually started a few maybe 3-4 weeks ago. My mother decided, because my niece's birthday was yesterday, March 28th. So she wanted to have a birthday party for her. I was against it because COVID. But she was insistent on having a birthday party, and my sister flew up from Florida, and my cousin Sean flew in from California along with his boyfriend. And then there were 16 other people that attended the party. Now, I was against the party because legitimately, I feel it's irresponsible. There was only one person in the party who was vaccinated. That was my cousin Sean. But that doesn't change the fact that, 15 out of those 16 people weren't vaccinated. The masks weren't enforced properly. And she pretty much... I told her why I was against it. I said, this party is reckless. And even if we all got tested and we all came up with negative COVID test, it seems disrespectful to the entire situation that our country's in. Because currently we have... around 58,000 cases per day, new COVID cases, and we have over 1,000 deaths still. and we have, over 550,000 Americans that are dead. So even if we're certain none of us have COVID, I was just against it. And no matter what I said, she would say, well, we're having the party, and you have to come because London, my niece, loves me. I'm one of her favorite people. And she would just keep forcing that on me, like, oh, London needs a normalcy. She needs you to be there because you're like her favorite person. And it's just,
Yeah.
it's this emotionally manipulative tactic where I'm telling her I don't feel comfortable with this. I don't want to be in this situation. Yet she essentially forced my hand. She didn't discuss the party with me beforehand. She decided that she was going to do it. She didn't say, hey, Tre'von, how do you feel about this beforehand? She decided she was going to do it. And then when I started pushing back, I became the asshole. I became the person who was, why are you being so selfish, Tre'von? Why don't you want to come to your niece's party? Like, we're all going to be wearing masks, which they weren't. Not everyone was wearing masks. There was not at all were people social distancing. It was reckless, to say the least.
There were 16 people.
16 people, and
How many would you say were wearing masks?
I didn't count, but there were people wearing masks, there were people not wearing masks, and then there were people half-assing it with the under the nose.
Right.
So it's just like,
I hate that. It's
none
like,
of this even
don't
fucking
even
works.
wear it. Just go full. Take it off.
But personally, I'm not scared of getting COVID. But I don't want to take risks because, first of all, COVID's not going to kill me. It will hinder my fucking existence. It will make life suck a little bit more.
Yeah.
But my mother, who's 44, could it kill her? Possibly. People in their 40s and 50s are getting fucking murked by COVID. My grandparents who were there, and my other grandmother on my dad's side who was there as well. Like, it was very reckless of a situation, and she pretty much took what she wanted to do and put it above, the outcome, like the worst outcomes that could have happened. And by the way, outcomes still could happen. Right now I'm quarantining. I could have COVID. Who knows? The party was 2 days ago. And, well, I feel like I personally have to take some responsibility for going, but, like, I just feel manipulated. Like, I was forced into this situation. I didn't want to be there. I said that multiple times. My sister scolded me. My mother scolded me. And, yeah, I just didn't want to be there because, COVID. I didn't want the party to happen at all.
Right.
It was
No, I don't blame you.
But it's just, every time I brought it up, it was just, oh, well, the kid needs you to be there because she loves you and she's your favorite person. And it's like, you're using the kid to manipulate me emotionally because both of her parents, my nieces, both of her parents are dead. So me and my mother are we're the parental figures in her life.
Right.
For, so she's like, she's taking that guilt that all have by missing out and really fucking twisting it to force me into being there. And it's just,
yeah, that's not cool.
But that's not the only sort of like emotional abuse and manipulation I faced. Like, I started thinking about my relationship with my mother. Well, actually, I'll tell you what happened. So I went to the party. I stayed in a separate room pretty much from everyone else the whole time. Like, my grandmother has, like, is it called like a green room or like a sunroom? I think it's a sunroom where it's like, you walk in on, it's like a front porch with like sort of screen windows and all that. I hung out in there.
I've heard sunroom. I've heard mudroom.
Yeah.
I've heard breezeway.
I hung out in there while like everyone else was inside or like on her back porch. So I hung out in there and I just sort of isolated to myself. And what was going on was like my mother would just keep adding on things that she decided I was going to do without consulting me whatsoever. So, this whole party, it was a thing I didn't want to do. She planned it, did all this without consulting me. So, I was about to leave, and she was like, "Oh, wait, my sister is going to drive me home to our house in my car, and then take my car to go do other things. So she has a car because she's coming up from Florida. She came up from Florida. Now, maybe if I was told in advance, I would have been fine with that. But the fact that like she just sprung it on me, like, hey, also we're taking your car, we're gonna do all this stuff with your things now. I just got really fucking annoyed. So I walked over towards my car and just sort of, stood there for a bit thinking. And then my sister came and she got in my car in the front seat, in the driver's seat. And she was like, "Come on, I'm about to drive you home." And I said, "No, I'm about to drive home." Uh, all right. I was coming to the thought of, all right, I might be okay with letting them take my car. But like I still wanted to drive like myself home, and then she could take my car from there. Like she'll come along for the ride for me going home, and then whatever. So I said,
It would have been
"No, I'm
nice to
driving."
ask if they could use your car.
Yeah, I think they should have asked, but she got angry at me when I said no, I'm driving, because I also took the keys from her when she put them in the ignition. I reached over and took the keys because I know my sister, and if I didn't take the keys, she would have closed the door, locked it until I got in on the passenger side and accepted her driving me in my car, which I'm not going to fucking do because it's my car. I pay the bills on
Yeah.
it. If I want to fucking drive it, I'm going to drive it to my fucking house.
Yeah.
But she got
That's
angry
wild.
at me. She started yelling. She called me an asshole. She went and yelled at my mother because she was mad at what I had done by taking the keys. Fucking whatever. Anyway, she thought I got in the car and left. So she called my father, who I don't, speak to very often. And she said, "Oh, he's selfish. He left," or whatever. I don't know what she said. But she told my father something to where my father called me. I didn't answer because whenever me and my sister get into an argument, she calls my father. So I didn't answer because I figured he was just going to scold me or whatever, just like everyone else in my family has been doing to me these past, few days and throughout this party. So I didn't answer. Then he texted me, and I'll read the text because why not? My father, who left when I was 16, mind you, he said, "Go back to the party and stop acting like a baby. You're being really selfish right now." And, just after being fucking verbally abused by my sister, my mother, and emotionally manipulated by my mother for the last fucking 4 weeks, and then during this party, and now I was so fucking angry, Dave. I was so fucking
Yeah.
upset.
I can imagine. That's pretty ridiculous.
So my father told me to stop being selfish. And this is my first time ever confronting my father in any sort of argumentative way, ever. So
Ever?
yeah, ever.
Wow.
So I said, "You left the family, mind your business," because he left, and he should mind his
Yeah.
business because he also wasn't at the party. So none of this concerns him.
Yeah.
My sister was just using him
That's
as a thing to try and
super
get me to
fair.
do what she wanted me to do.
Right.
So my father said, "Who are you talking to? Take your ass back up to the party and stop thinking about yourself and watch who you're talking to." Meanwhile, I haven't left the driveway. Haven't left my grandmother's driveway. I'm still sitting there. So he came out of the gate hot, accusing me, calling me a baby, calling me selfish.
Right.
And I was like, "Who are you
For
talking
something
to?"
you hadn't even done.
Yeah. So I told him, "Who are you talking to? You left the family. Your opinions have no weight to them." By the way, I was really close to saying "fuck off," like to my father.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say it. I was very nice. I didn't curse at him whatsoever. He said, "I
Yeah.
didn't leave any."
Everything
Sorry, go ahead.
everything you've said so far sounds more than reasonable.
Yeah, yeah. He said, "I didn't leave anybody, and I will whip your ass if you think you're grown. Act like a grown up and not a baby and go take care of your family." And then I said, "I literally don't have to ever see you again." Because now he's saying, like, what you, I could whip your ass. And it's like, I'm fucking 23. I'm a 23-year-old man. Keep your hands to
Yeah.
yourself. I'm an adult. I pay
Hey
taxes.
there.
But just, so I
And
text all
he's
that.
telling you to
Yeah.
take care of the family after
Yep.
he left.
Yep. After I've been taking
Wow.
care of the family this entire time, I've been the quote unquote man of the house. But
I
anyway.
mean, he's got balls, that's for one thing.
Yeah.
To be able to say that, jeez.
But anyway, so like because that was the first time of me ever like confronting my dad, because we like he left and fucking I know where he is and I was at his wedding and what we don't have a good relationship. Like whenever we're near each other, we have like a friendly. It's almost like if I were his fucking chiropractor and he like invited me to a barbecue. Like it's one of those where like, oh, I know of your existence and we're acquaintances. It's very much
Right.
not fatherly and son-like. Like I don't know what it is. Like I know he didn't have his biological father in his life, but he did have like a stepfather who, you know, I called my grandfather and he pretty much treated like his father. But like I don't know what it is where I'm not sure if it's a black family thing, like a, you know, if this is a black person thing or if it's like a just all types of fathers and sons. But it's almost like we're competing to be like the alpha for some reason, when it really should be like, you're my son and I'm gonna raise you up to be, you know, whatever. I'm gonna raise you up to be a good man or whatever, or to be, you know,
Right.
better in situations than I was. But
But
instead it's
instead, it's
just,
more like an adversarial relationship.
yeah, it's like that, or
I
it's
think that's a
just,
lot of father-son relationships.
yeah. But I don't know, that's weird because, so one thing I realized, like, you know, I have daddy issues, but now I'm also realizing I have fucking mommy issues as well. Because I was thinking back, because of all the times that so this situation, this entire party, it's just one of the instances where my mother was manipulative of me. So I remember being a kid, and you know, when my father left, as many boys are probably, when their father leaves, they're kind of overprotective of their mother. It's kind of like a, you know, separation anxiety, maybe. I don't know. I'm not a psychologist. I can't examine it. But I was overprotective of my mother. And like I didn't want her to like fucking date or anything or do any of that stuff because I was just, you know, and instead of properly treating that like a parent, like, you know, assuring me that she wasn't gonna also leave, assuring me that,
Hmm.
you know, whoever comes in isn't gonna somehow replace me or fucking take a step above me in the
Right.
hierarchy of the household or whatever. Uh, she would say, "Oh, you're crazy. Did your father put you up to this?" Like, you know, she would go, "Did your father put you up to this?" Even though it was sort of like my actual feelings. Like I was just, you know, overprotective. Maybe there was something with, you know, abandonment issues. But she would say that's a problem. This isn't good for you to think that way. Until I remember, whenever she needed me to be the quote unquote man of the house and do like some manly shit, I remember one instance in particular. She dropped an air conditioner out of a fucking window, like putting it in for the summer, and it broke. Like no one got hurt or anything. She just dropped it. Like she put it in wrong, or she was
Yeah.
like she just slipped and dropped it. So she was like, Trevon, go outside and pick up the air conditioner and bring it back inside. And I was like, I don't want to. Like, I just don't want to. You dropped it. Go pick it up yourself. And she was like, well, I guess maybe I'll have to call another man, a real man, to come do this. So she's now putting me in this weird competition with other
Really?
men.
That's
Like, she's playing on my
that's a
clear
weird thing to say to your son.
insecurity. She's playing on the insecurity that she acknowledged was not a good thing. But she wants something out of me now, so she's going to exploit it for her own gain. Even though that's a minor situation, granted, but still, you can't just exploit people like that.
No, that's a huge red flag.
Yep. Anyway, now this goes into more like life circumstances as well. So, I'm 23 years old. I'm a grown man, as you could say it. I'm a young man. At some point, like, I want to move out and get my own place. I've lived with my mother my whole life now. But I don't know how to fucking leave because now we essentially have a fucking kid together, and I don't know, like, I don't want to fucking leave my niece and give her abandonment issues like my dad gave me. So, like, life has been so shitty to me lately. It's just been kicking me in the fucking dick. Also, when I had that argument with my father, that text argument, I had a panic attack in the car. Like, I was shaking uncontrollably, and the only person I could call for, like, help at that time to, like, comfort me a bit was my mother. So it was this weird thing where, like, she was just emotionally manipulating me for the past, like, fucking day now. And now I have to go crawling back to her for emotional support while I'm fucking breaking down. And it's just weird. And then on my entire drive...
That's pretty wild.
Yeah. On my entire drive home, it's an hour drive from my grandmother's house to my place. On my entire drive home, I was just in, like, a haze. I was just uncomfortable. Like, I'm not sure what it was, the stress about everything or whatever. I'm not sure what a mental breakdown is, like, technically, like, definition-wise, but, like, just something wasn't right. I just wasn't, things were off. I felt sickly. I felt like I just couldn't fucking function. Oh, and I was fucking majorly, I think I was suicidal at that point as well.
Jesus.
Like, the other day, I really was just like, fucking, I hope someone just kills me because everything fucking sucked that day. And literally just, it was such an awful feeling. It is scary, but you get through it. I'm just glad. I'm glad I got through it without drinking. I didn't drink to get through it. And I'm glad I got through it without, like, going on Tinder and looking for people to hook up with. That's another thing, by the way. My mother had this COVID party, essentially, and I've been so good. Like, I fucking haven't dated anyone. I haven't fucked anyone for a year because I've been so concerned about the people I live with. I don't want my mother to get COVID. I don't want my niece to get COVID. I don't want my grandparents to get COVID. I don't want to get COVID myself, but, like, I've been so, like, extra cautious because of everyone around me. If I lived alone, I probably would be a fucking dickhead. No, I probably wouldn't, because I'd think about the grocery store clerk, and I wouldn't want to possibly transmit to them.
I'm so precautious about COVID. I haven't dated in 6 years.
I was quarantining 6 years ago.
I've been social distancing way before it was cool.
Yeah, but yeah, that was I was not having fun the last few days. Jeez. Oh, also,
Doesn't sound
yesterday,
like it.
yesterday, Sunday was my niece's official birthday. We had her party on Saturday. So all that shit went down Saturday. And then yesterday, I just had like the worst anxiety throughout the day. Like it was just in my stomach and chest. And I've been drinking, I know I'm a Monster energy drink guy, but I've
Oh
been
no.
trying these Bang energy drinks,
I
which
knew
have
you were gonna
like
say Bang.
they have like
They're pretty good.
350 milligrams of caffeine versus Monster, which has like 170. So it's effectively double.
Really?
Yes, a lot more
That's too
caffeine.
much.
I drank a Bang the other night, last night actually, and I was just feeling sick and gross. And I drank a Bang, thinking like, all right, I'm gonna be up all night writing a script for a video that I'm gonna have out like tomorrow on my channel.
Hmm.
But I drank a Bang, and then I just felt so fucking sick that I laid down. I fell asleep. I woke up, just the worst anxiety still. I think the Bang fucking made it worse, and I was
Yeah,
shaking so
caffeine does that.
uncontrollably. I was shaking, Dave. Like
Oh man.
caffeine usually, like a Monster, doesn't affect me, but like the Bangs for some reason have been fucking like jittery and fucking my psyche up. My
You just said it's like triple the caffeine, right?
Dave, it's so fuck. I woke up to piss, and I was
That's
shaking
why.
and scared.
Yeah, man,
Everything's just been
caffeine's rough.
weird. Also, like
I feel you.
I don't know what this is. Like this is probably some other weird shit psychologically. Look, my parents shouldn't have had children. Their genetics are probably really fucking bad. My dad's bipolar, probably, because he's, my sister's also probably bipolar. Um, but like, I have the worst paranoia, like whatsoever, whenever I'm alone. Like, I don't know how to, like, it's not like relationship paranoia where like people have trouble not being in relationships, because I'm fine being single, like, relationship wise. It's like actually like being in this house alone right now because my mother went back to my grandmother's to see my cousin, because it's like the first time in 15 years that they've seen each other. But like right now I'm alone, and I know when I want to go to bed and lay down and go to sleep tonight, like I'm going to have the worst like panic. I don't know what it is. I just have a fear of like someone being here with me. And I'm not sure if I'm fucking starting to turn schizophrenic, but I'm just fucking scared because I hear things.
Really?
Yes, things are not good, Dave.
Okay. When you say you hear things, what does that mean? Like things bumping around or like voices? What are we talking about here?
It's it's not like things bumping around. It's very subtle, where it's like, where you're like, how do I explain it? I'm really trying to make it seem like I'm not crazy here, but
We're all crazy, trust me.
look, it could just be
Humanity is
stress.
insanity.
It could be stress because I really like I've slipped back into my habit of not sleeping well and not eating well. So it could just be stress fucking with my brain, because this has happened before. Um, but like so my bed that my bed is right next to me, and like my head isn't against a wall. So like think of my head is at the foot of the bed. I do that just because I don't like having my head against the wall because I'm too tall. I end up fucking hitting my head on the wall in the middle of the night.
What?
Look, I can't explain it. I can't explain it, Dave.
How do you sleep?
Okay, okay. I'm gonna draw a fucking picture, Dave. Okay, so we have a wall.
Is the head of your bed against the wall, or is your bed sideways against the wall?
uh, the foot of my bed is against a wall because I put
Okay.
my feet against the wall just because like I'd prefer my head slightly hang off the bed than my feet. You know what I mean?
So you're longer than your bed is?
Yes. Yes, I am. It's
Oh,
weird. I
wow,
have a
okay.
full-size bed, and I'm like 2 inches taller than it. So it's not like a crazy amount. It's not like I'm sticking
Wait,
like
so
a
your
foot out.
head is just like hanging off the bed? That's not good for your neck.
And not fully. Okay, look, you know how TVs are measured diagonally to like
Yeah.
get a bigger length? I can lay in my bed diagonally and then I'm fine. My head won't hang off and my feet won't touch the wall. But it's just if I lay on it fucking straight on, then my head will hang off a bit. Just because I'm a little
Wow.
bit too tall.
As a short person, I don't have to deal with that. That's one perk of being short.
Okay. But also, like, okay. So I'm good. Here, I'll show it to the
Can't
camera
see any of
first.
that.
No. No, it's a bad drawing.
All I see is a blank piece of paper.
Yeah, no, never mind. But anyway, I don't know what it is, but like, I'll just get the worst paranoia, and I think it just feeds into itself. And yeah, I don't know. My family's just been abusing me, a lot recently, and yeah, that's weird. My niece is
How
great
much
though. I love my
caffeine do you
niece.
drink? Because caffeine can add to paranoia and anxiety.
Yeah, it depends. Like, okay, I have maybe like 7 cans of like Monster and like no, not a day.
Oh God, okay. I was gonna say, there's your
Of
problem.
like Monster and Bang energy drinks sitting in my kitchen right now. So I'll like buy like, 5 or 6 when I go to the grocery store, maybe like once every 2 weeks. And then, maybe like once every 3 days, if I want to stay up late, I'll drink one, like with dinner or whatever.
Oh, that's not crazy.
It isn't, but like, I don't know. I think, I don't know what it is. I should really go see a psychologist. Make sure I'm not fucking going nuts.
Maybe. Professional help is never a bad thing.
No, it's not. Speaking of professional help, today's sponsor, BetterHelp. you know, I wish we had a sponsor.
Yeah, we need to get HelloFresh to sponsor us. I use them every week.
Or get
No
Manscaped.
lie. I literally just bought the Lawnmower 3.0 today.
God damn it, Manscaped. Dave, don't say a shit about this. They're not paying us.
We
Keep
can
your
cut
mouth
it out.
shut. We're not getting paid for this.
You're right.
Uh,
I did not order from Manscaped. I don't get HelloFresh. I did not buy the purple pillow.
do you get HelloFresh though? Like legitimately?
I do. Yeah,
Is it
it's wonderful.
is it good?
It's so good. It's gotten me to the point where I can competently cook. I have like a bunch of recipes that I can do. And also, it's just so much nicer than going out to the store. And if I were, this sounds like an ad, but it's not. I wish it were. If I were to go to the store and buy all the ingredients for the meals that I get, it would cost me so much more money and I would have more food that I would end up wasting. I don't waste any food. They just send the perfect amount.
See, that's where you and I differ. I like making a lot of food and then having it for like the next day or two.
I used to waste a lot of food and I hate that. I hate food waste. So, I don't know. It didn't work out well for me. HelloFresh works a lot better.
Yeah. Did you see like the video? I wrote this down because I wanted to bring this up. The video of Biden falling up the stairs into the plane.
I did, yeah.
All right. What's worse, Trump and the stupid ramp, or Biden falling upstairs?
The ramp is worse because Trump made a whole scene of it. He was talking about it for months after. As far as I know, Biden didn't even talk about his fall. Listen, people fall. Like, of all the things for people to criticize Biden for,
Especially
this
because
it's
he's
just a
old.
funny thing
Like
to
old
laugh at.
people fall.
Exactly. My 74-year-old dad who hobbles around the house was criticizing Biden for falling up the stairs, and I didn't want to say it. I didn't say it to him, but I wanted to say, You try going up those stairs. I guarantee you'll fall more than he did.
Especially because they're plane steps. They're like steeper than normal. It's not like
Yeah, they
regular
are.
and like
And
plane steps.
at least he didn't have toilet paper hanging off his shoe like Trump did.
Yeah, and like plane steps. All right, so the angle, like, okay, so this will be the top of one step. This will be like one step, and then the like incline, like inward kind of, and then like another step down here. So like it's weird because like you can get hung up. So like, you'll
Right.
get like
Yeah,
the
it's
top
almost
step.
like an
Oh,
escalator
yeah,
step.
the top step overhangs to the step below it, kind of. So
Yeah.
you can get your toes sort of caught into it in the little. It's hard to explain, but I think you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I do. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still more angry about the fact that $2,000 turned into $1,400 overnight for no reason.
Yeah. Well, I'm mad at the fact that it was $2,000 checks immediately to 1,400 in
4 months.
what is essentially April.
I just got my check in the mail today. For some reason, it
Same.
didn't come direct deposit.
Same. I got mine today too.
Nice. Stimulus, buddies.
Yeah. I saw people on TikTok yesterday going, "Hey, yo, Joe, where's my stimmy at?" And they put a hood over some dude, and they're like, "Joe, we got your son. If we don't get stimulated, your son is about to get eliminated."
That's pretty good. Yeah, that whole falling up the stairs thing. I saw Fox News just ripping him apart for it, being like, "Oh, he's not well. We feel so bad for him."
I saw a Fox News clip of Sean Hannity going, "These immigrant detention centers are immoral. They are disgusting. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, this is on you." And it's just like, you were saying none of this when Trump was in office, you fuck.
Yep. Nope. It's I saw Ted Cruz and Lindsey Graham were both down at the border saying the same thing today or yesterday. They were like, this is disgusting. It's inhumane. And it's like, you guys love it.
I mean, you know what else is
Like,
inhumane? Abandoning your post when your fucking constituents need you. Fucking Cancun cruise over here.
yeah.
When,
And to
whenever,
be fair,
sorry, go ahead.
Joe Biden's immigration policy is still pretty terrible.
Oh no, it's trash.
But,
It's trash.
but
I'm just
they're
saying they're
not the
hypocrites.
ones. Yeah, exactly. It's the right message from the very wrong people.
Yeah. Whenever Ted Cruz, like, okay, the Republicans during the stimulus, this $1.9 trillion COVID relief bill that Biden put through, first of all, it got 0 Republican votes whatsoever, even though stimulus checks are really popular. And even though
Yeah.
expanding unemployment is also really popular and all the other sort of things. So it got 0 Republican votes. And then, like, 3 days later, Republicans were going, "Oh, we got this nice bill going out to get you guys checks and whatnot." And it's like, you fucking lying fucking cunts. But also, I just hate that Ted Cruz goes like, "Where are we getting the money for this? We're going to hose the taxpayers for what? Stimulus relief, COVID relief? We're hosing this is all taxpayer money going to this." And it's like, well, it was all taxpayer money going to you fucking going to Cancun, you fucking cunt.
Yep.
Because it's not like you were doing
It's
your
all
job and getting
taxpayer
paid
money
for
that
it.
bails out big business.
Really, I just hate Ted Cruz. I fucking hate him so much, Dave.
Everyone hates Ted Cruz. Even Republicans hate Ted Cruz.
Do you think
I forgot
Texas...
who said it. Somebody said that if you shot Ted Cruz on the floor of the Senate, nobody would vote to convict. I think it was a Republican that said that too.
I just fucking...
What were you going to say?
So Texas. Okay, Texas. I hate it as a state. How do you have flooding and deserts within the same state? I don't think that's ethically
Well, I think it's
responsible.
The deserts can't absorb enough water fast enough, which I think is why it floods.
Is it?
I think so.
I thought it was just because it runs across what is essentially the entire bottom of the United States. Texas is really big.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, it
But
used to just be another part of Mexico.
I hate how people are like, these goddamn Californians are coming to Texas and blah, blah, blah. And just, Texas isn't good. Stop acting like this is a problem. Like, it would be like if people are like, these goddamn Californians coming to Missouri. And it's like,
Hmm All
you
these New
you want to
Yorkers
die on
moving
this
down
hill?
to Arkansas.
Yeah. One thing I don't like about Republican states is just the sheer hypocrisy that they have on, like, they'll go, oh, these welfare queens, and they're still like in the Reaganomics mindset. But welfare queens, meanwhile, states like Texas and Florida that have no state income tax or whatever, they take more from the Federal Reserve, I guess. They get more federal money than like New York or California does. So essentially,
Yeah.
they're the welfare queens. They're not paying into
The
the
blue
system.
states basically fund the red states.
Exactly, which is fine in, a United States of America, but they're really cunty about it. I just hate how they're like,
Oh
these
yeah,
New Yorker
they're the
welfare
worst.
queen liberal Yankees, or these communist California. And it's just like,
I've
you
never heard
fucking,
that. That's so cringy.
yeah, leaving California. People are leaving because there's a 90% tax rate, David. They're going to take 90%. I hate people who don't understand marginal tax rates.
Yeah, people are willfully ignorant all the time.
Well, here's my thing. People think too highly of themselves, including me. I'm not excluding myself from this. But this can go for a lot of things. Like, look, I don't want to complain about cancel culture. But when you think about it, cancel culture, I've
Ooh,
uh,
we have to talk about Lil Nas X at some point. Cancel culture
oh
just
fuck.
reminds me of that.
Okay, yeah, hold on. Cancel culture. Whenever someone gets like accused of a heinous act, people come out and say, canceled, we need to cancel this person. And it's like, well, really, we should wait for some sort of investigation by people more qualified than us. Like, I'm not qualified to say someone's innocent or guilty. I'm not qualified to determine that. I'm not a detective. I'm not any sort of like inspector, criminal investigator. So why do people on like TikTok and Twitter and Instagram go like, oh, there's an accusation, it must be true, instead of going like, all right, there's an accusation, let's wait and see what happens, because like the police have to get involved or something. You get what I'm
Because
saying?
people are not reasonable, especially the people on social media.
Yeah.
TikTok and Twitter and Instagram are not real life. They're just extremely exaggerated chunks of humanity.
Yeah. Well, also cancel culture doesn't even work. Did you know there's a giant TikToker? Her name is Only Jayus, and she got exposed for. I'm not gonna censor this, Dave. Also, before you come at me, I am half black mulatto. She called someone a nigger lover, Dave. Hard R.
And I'm assuming she's white.
She's white, a white liberal Hillary Clinton-esque type, I guess. So what had happened was she had BLM in her bio.
Yikes.
She had BLM in her bio. She then got exposed for saying, that thing. I'm not going to repeat it twice. I want this video to not get taken down.
Yeah, listen.
Look, if you think it's
you know,
harsh me quoting her, imagine her saying it with malice. I'm just quoting
yeah.
it. But she had BLM in her bio. She got exposed for saying that. She came out and said, oh, that's photoshopped. It then got proven that it wasn't photoshopped. And then she took BLM out of her bio and then released some horseshit apology. But just the fact that like she didn't mean BLM because she took it out of her bio, instead of going like, hey, you know what? I did say this. This was very stupid and ignorant of me. And if you all want to yell at me, that's fine. Deservedly so. It was a terrible thing for me to say. But instead, she first tried to lie her way out of it. When she didn't, she took BLM out of her bio and then just made a horseshit apology.
She should have just replaced BLM with KKK and gotten it all over with. It's wild.
Anyway, she's not canceled. I mean, we tried canceling
cancel
her.
Culture doesn't work, really.
Yeah.
Because Twitter, I was going to say Twitter doesn't have power, but it does in some places. But it ultimately kind of doesn't. And like, if people get outraged over something on Twitter, I mean, people have lost their jobs, but a lot of times it's for stuff that they could have lost their job for anyway, and it was just brought to people's attention. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, in some situations, it makes sense, I guess. Like, if you're supposed to, I don't know, say you work at a bank and you are a person who determines whether or not someone can get a loan for something, and you have racial biases, maybe that's not the best thing, because if you have, a person of color come in looking to get a loan and you have that mindset, maybe that could affect your work life. Or just like something where there's a weird power dynamic.
Right, like a cop.
Yeah, like a cop. Speaking of which, Derek Chauvin, the cop who murdered George Floyd
today, right?
Yeah, as far as I know. From what I heard, there was a mixed martial artist who like warned the cops of like saying, "Hey, that you shouldn't be doing this," while Chauvin had his knee on the back of George Floyd's neck. So I think that dude came and testified in court. I haven't been following it as closely. I've just been getting a few updates here and there.
I don't even know why they need anything more than the video. Like, he's murdering a man on tape.
But
very clearly.
Dave, he's white.
And he's a cop. Crazy. I hate it.
Yeah.
Cops get away with everything.
Yeah. Did you know that a very big thing that happens is civil asset forfeiture, which is pretty much legalized robbery by cop. So they can say, Tre'von, this microphone right here, I think you were going to use this for some illegal activity. And then they can take it, and then I'd have to prove myself not intending to use it for illegal activity. But that flips the entire justice system on its head, because it's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. But in that case, I have to prove my innocence.
That's a myth. Innocent until proven guilty is a complete myth. You are 100% guilty until proven innocent. I mean, there are people who spend days, weeks, months, and sometimes years in jail before they even get a court date.
Yeah.
That's 100% guilty until proven innocent. I mean, you're literally being imprisoned for something you haven't even had a court trial for.
That's why the cash bail system is garbage.
Yeah, it's just rich people can do what they want.
Yeah, it's all right. Well, pay us, and then you could have freedom. Otherwise, you're just gonna sit here, because we think you're guilty until you can be proven not guilty.
Yeah, it's like I heard somebody say something. I'm gonna paraphrase. It was like, crimes where the punishment is a fee are really just crimes for the poor, because it doesn't matter to the rich.
Yeah, like, one thing that's going on right now, have you been, like, GameStop and Wall Street Bets and Wall Street and Reddit? This is a weird thing that I've been following because it's fascinating to me.
I don't pay attention to it, really.
Okay, well, fuck it. I don't feel like explaining Wall Street. We all understand Wall Street sucks and it's corrupt. I don't need to go into detail. One thing I just wanted to bring up, because I was thinking about this recently. O.J. Simpson. So, like, where do you stand? Are you like, oh, he's innocent, or like, look,
Uh, well, no, I think he's a murderer.
okay, Dave. So here's my thing. Here's what I figured out. Black people tend, as black people, the reason why we largely wanted OJ to get off, like as a people, is not because we believe in his innocence. Like we're certain he's a murderer, but OJ getting off was really important because it was the first time a black man in America got treated like a white man in the court system. Because murdering your wife and her lover is such a white man's crime, and it's the first time a black man fucking actually got treated like a white man, even though it's like unjust. It still happened to be like the first time there was
Yeah.
judicial equality
Well,
between the races.
the real takeaway from that, I think, is the one thing that can bridge the racial divide is money. Doesn't matter what race you are. If you have money, you got it, man. You can do whatever you want.
That is a good point. But I don't. Sometimes even money doesn't help, because Kobe Bryant, when he died last year, people were still calling him a rapist, even though he was innocent.
It was only last year?
Dave, holy fuck. Dave, did I tell you this? So the day Kobe Bryant died, I had, like, all right, this sounds fucking awful. I had a really good fucking day. Just by chance. Dave, I'm sorry. I don't want it to come off like that. I know.
It's not like one had anything to do with the other.
I know. It's just a weird situation. Because,
unless you're Ari Shaffir.
Oh, okay, Ari. Like, Ari can be funny. I've heard him say funny shit. But, like, sometimes I'm just like, you're just being you're taking the hack route of just taking the antithesis kind of route. So, like, whenever someone, like, who's admired and liked dies, he'll just go, fuck him, he was a piece of shit. And it's just like, Ari, that's kind of hack at this point.
Yeah.
But,
was that really just last year?
Yes, it was like sometime, it was like January 20th, maybe? January 21st.
Nuts.
I remember because I went down to the city for like a casting thing to meet this girl who's going to teach me how to walk like a proper model. And it was just such a fun day because I got to learn so much like behind the scenes of modeling stuff. Also, the country was mourning. Like it was just weird because, like, Kobe was a really big figure that I don't think everyone realized. Like, I don't watch sports at all. I had no idea about like his sports record or how important he was. But like the weight of his death just felt like a really good dude died because he seemed to inspire a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know much about him. I know he was one of the best basketball players ever, apparently. I guess he might have raped someone. I haven't really looked into it.
Well, I think
I don't want to tarnish the man's name, but
I'm pretty sure he was accused, but in court, I think it's been proven, or he got off in court. But like even though
he
that
got
happened,
off somewhere, that's for sure.
But like even though he died, like people were still going, he was a rapist, and it's just like, but he was like proven innocent in this one circumstance. So it's like,
See,
I don't know.
That's a blind
Money
spot for me because I don't know if he was. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
All I know is the accusations.
But also, like money wise, like Mike Tyson also went to jail for rape as well.
He went to prison for a while.
Yeah. But like, did he actually do it, or was it like the system being bad against a black man again? You know what I mean?
As far as I know, he's admitted multiple times that he's beaten and raped his ex-wife or wives.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if he's admitting to it, I can't.
He seems like he's mellowed out a lot.
he
Smokes
seems,
weed all the time now.
he seems like really chill, and like I like him as a person, but like looking at the rape thing, it's like, oh, that's a hard thing to get past. Like
It
even
is,
if
but
you
people
have mellowed out and
change.
changed, that's such a hard thing to look past. You know what I mean?
It is. But he also served time in prison, so I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like if people truly do change and have served their time, there has to be some room for growth and forgiveness.
Yeah. I don't know. It's
But
not
yeah,
my
it is a
job
tough one.
it's not my job to punish him, nor is it my job to forgive him. That's up to his
I don't think
victims.
either of us could possibly punish him.
Yeah, no, I just mean like it's not my job to fucking to scold him or to
Yeah,
forgive him. That's up to his victims. I can't make any decision in this.
exactly. Whatever we think of Mike Tyson at the end of the day doesn't affect his life in the slightest.
Yeah. Also, he made a fuck ton of money fighting uh what's his face, the dude he fought in like November.
Who did he fight?
I'm gonna look this
Was
up.
it Mayweather?
It was a Mayweather. Nah, Mayweather's younger than Tyson, so Mayweather would have won. It was like two,
I
like
don't know, man.
it was Mike
Tyson's punches
Tyson and
are
another sort of older
nuts.
heavyweight. Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr.
Mm.
Yeah, and it ended in like a draw. It was a disappointing boxing match. It wasn't that good, but apparently he made fucking bank on it. Oh,
I believe it.
that's where was it Jake Paul? Jake Paul. Jake Paul knocked out the NBA guy. That was the NBA guy that Jake Paul
Oh wait, I
fought.
was thinking of Logan Paul. Jake Paul also fought?
Yeah, he's also a boxer. But he
Of
went
course,
against this
here.
dude from the NBA, and like before the fight, I guess the guy tweeted like, "This is for my NBA family," and he got knocked the fuck out. And it was the meme for like a good 2 days after that. Like they were just photoshopping his unconscious body into different things.
That sucks. I want Jake Paul to get knocked out on camera.
Yeah, I'm not sure how good of a boxer he is because I don't think he's gone up against like
An actual
experienced
boxer.
boxers. Yeah, I think it's been very much like regular people who have sort of taken up boxing for this one event.
Right. I would like to see Jake Paul fight Mike Tyson.
Ooh, I imagine if Mike Tyson got knocked out by Jake Paul.
Oh my god. I literally can't imagine it. It's so beyond comprehension. That would be the end of Mike Tyson's career.
Yeah,
Like he would just have to disappear off the face of the earth after that.
I mean,
Or go and kill Jake Paul.
I think he's fine with not being a boxer. I think he only came back because they were like, hey, Mike, we have $40 million. Would you come back for
Hmm.
this one match?" And he was like, "Oh, $40 million talks. It
Yeah.
does a lot of talking."
Yeah, I would fight somebody for $40 million.
I would let Mike Tyson. I would just stand while Mike Tyson hit me for 40 million.
Yeah, I would too. That's too much money not to. You could pay all the medical bills.
Yeah, pay to have my jaw wired shut.
Yeah. Get all brand new teeth after he knocks him out.
Yeah. So, one thing I've been fascinated with recently, and this is thanks to the good old folks at Reddit. Uh, so it's about to be a good one. There's this subreddit called Nature is Metal, I believe, where it's just
I think
like
I've been there once or twice.
I saw a zebra like get its stomach bit by like a crocodile, and then like it essentially got disemboweled by a crocodile, but it was still alive for like a minute or two afterwards, and it was trying to put its
Yeah.
guts back
Ooh.
inside itself, and it was just such like I don't know why that it just ruined me because it's the moment when that you're about to die, but you can't save yourself. Like, it's that weird situation. And I don't know why that just traumatized
Yeah,
me.
that old thing. We've all been there, right?
Well, I mean, technically, I've probably died almost died a few times.
What?
I haven't died a few times. Yeah, no, I've been in some pretty bad car accidents.
Jeez.
Like, I remember, let's see, I was like 20, maybe 19, 20. My brother and I were going to Poughkeepsie, and this, what I assume was a drunk driver, came into our lane head on with us. So my brother swerved off into like grass, thinking, okay, well, we'll pull off and then stop. But the thing is, grass is slippery. So he lost control and fishtailed, and we were about to go head on with a telephone pole, but at the last moment we like fishtailed sort of out of it, so the side of the car took the brunt versus us.
That's so wild. That's
So yeah.
almost exactly what happened to me one time too. There
Ooh.
wasn't a drunk driver, but my friend was driving, and it was really rainy out, and we were going around a turn, and he was going too fast, and he ended up off the road on the wet grass, and the car was just sliding sideways towards a telephone pole, and it was like time just slowed down. Like I saw this pole coming straight at me, and I was in the back seat. My friend in the passenger seat in the front, his head went through the window when
Ooh.
we hit.
Ooh.
But everyone's all good now. It was pretty wild though.
Oof. That sounds
It was
bad.
like 10 years ago now. Totaled the car.
Damn.
We were on our way to go buy a dildo for our
Now I'm
coworker because
interested.
it was her birthday. We never
Dave,
made it though, unfortunately.
we were coworkers for 4 years, David, and not once have you ever offered me a goddamn dildo.
You're right. She was like a 50-year-old woman though, and very lonely.
Oh.
But I mean, hey, I'll
So
get you a dildo if you
it
want.
wasn't even
I've
like
got a couple right over here.
it wasn't even like a funny gift, really. It ended up being kind of like a sad gift in a way.
It was both funny and sad, I think.
It was
But
so,
we never ended up making it there, so
you
she
know
never got it.
it's like if you give like a 60-year-old, it's like, haha, you wouldn't use this really. It's a gag gift. But like at that
Yeah,
age
she
where it's
really
just like still
a
kind of
gag
lonely,
gift, you say?
still kind of lonely and usable. So now it
A
gets kind of sad.
gag gift?
Oh, a gag gift. I didn't even. So have you heard of this super straight thing going around on TikTok?
Yeah, I have.
It's men who are so
I
straight
think it's
that
hilarious.
they will not sleep with a trans woman, which
Hmm.
neither of us claim to be super straight. We will gladly accept
I would
and
never
love.
claim to be super straight.
Yeah, we will gladly date trans women. We are trans allies, not because we'll date them, just because we believe in human rights. But we'll
Right,
also
yeah.
date them.
Exactly. Yeah.
We're both lonely, but
I
so
love the idea that the only the only reason we care about human rights is because we want dates. That's not the case.
I mean that's the only reason I care about animal rights.
Oh God.
But super straight. So men who are so straight that they won't date a trans woman because they consider trans women to be uh, men. I'm not claiming that. That's just what they've claimed, and of course that's
Right.
transphobic. But I've seen so anatomy. What happens like when you're born? If you're born a girl, you're essentially born with like a penis, but like it's sort of like inside you, like the parts just sort of separate out weirdly. So here's the thing: there's super straight, and then there's super straight ultra, where you're so straight that you don't fuck women because women almost have penises.
Well, yeah. I mean, The
Non-trans
way I
women, cis
remember,
women is what I meant.
the way I remember being taught, and this could be totally wrong, was that all fetuses start as girls, and then the ovaries like drop and become testes. Am I totally wrong about that?
And this is why I don't have sex with cis women, Dave. I'm
And then
too
the
straight
clit
for
grows
this.
out into the penis.
That's gay, David. That is gay. I will not. I only have sex with men because I'm so straight, Dave.
So straight that you end up going back around in a circle.
Women have buttholes. Men have buttholes. Seems pretty gay to fuck a woman if she has a butthole.
You joke, but I've literally heard that argument from very insecure men.
Or it's very closeted men who are just saying, hey, might as well fuck a man.
Yeah.
You know, asshole is made of the same
Yeah.
thing if you're a man or a woman.
It's true. It's all skin.
I heard a really funny joke. It was this is gonna sound bad. It was about slavery, and it was a guy who's so racist. It was a guy that's so racist that he's against slavery because he's. I didn't even think they worked hard for money. Why would I?
Wow.
So he's against slavery because he's so racist. That made me laugh so hard.
That's wild.
Oh,
Yeah, super straight is pretty ridiculous.
yep.
Like, there's nothing wrong with not being into penises on men or women, but to make such a big deal about it screams of insecurity.
Well, yeah. One thing I've noticed is on TikTok, I just feel like everyone has a lot of insecurity on that app. Like
I don't frequent TikTok.
I can kill a whole hour and a half scrolling through TikTok
Yeah, that's why I
unintentionally.
don't go on. It's just like one after the other, and next thing you know, the sun's down.
Yeah. Well, I've done that with everything. I've done it with like watching Daredevil or like watching any other anime. I've done that with everything.
Yeah,
I've done that
feels
watching.
different to me, but I guess it's really not.
I've done that watching adult films, David. Where it's like, oh, what's this? Oh, 9 p.m. Okay. Oh well, it's 3 a.m. now.
You know, I've just been edging the whole time.
Yeah. It looks like it looks
What? Were you?
it looks like someone hit like a go-gurt with a mallet. And it's just all over the wall, and you have to clean it. You have to clean your fucking walls.
What? No.
It's like
Grab some
Gallagher. You know the old
tissues.
comic?
Yeah.
It's like Gallagher with the watermelon. It just goes everywhere, David.
You just gotta put like 2 tissues in this hand and hold it out in front like a catcher's mitt.
What was I going to say? Oh, TikTok. Okay, TikTok. I think a lot. All right. One thing that I've been seeing a lot is for some reason it's been recommending like feminist videos to me a lot, but it's not like rational feminists that are like, hey, here's a woman's issue and here's what we have to do about it. It's like the feminists that are like, kill all men and the men,
Right.
every man is a problem here. And it's just like,
Yeah, those aren't feminists, those are sexists.
well, like, look, I don't like playing identity politics. But the women who say that, I've never seen a woman of color say this. To say like kill all men with conviction like that. It's all been white women. So I'm gonna use identity politics to then throw this back at them. They're saying kill all men because all men are rapists or whatever, or sexual harassers or whatever. Now, all men includes men of color, indigenous men, black men, uh, Hispanic men, Asian men. You are being racist when you say kill all men. You are taking your white woman privilege and saying kill minority men who you have privilege over.
It's also just
Did,
straight
did
up
I do a
genocide.
did I do a thing? Identity politics, Dave? Did I do an
I
identity
guess.
politics?
I guess technically.
Yeah, I'm proud of myself.
Yeah, but it is genocide of half the human population. So Thanos would be proud.
Yeah, balanced as all things should be.
Although even that wouldn't be balanced.
It wouldn't. It would be.
And do they count trans men? Are they transphobic now?
Dep- Look, here's one of my least
Ooh,
favorite types of
wait.
people.
Here's a question. Is it transphobic to kill trans men with the cis men, or is it transphobic to leave trans men out of the killings?
It's transphobic to leave them
All
out.
hypothetical. All hypothetical, by the way. I don't want anybody to be killed. This is a
Yeah,
weird conversation we've gone down.
I can answer that. It's transphobic to leave them out because then that's denying them manhood. That's invalidating their manhood. Versus like killing them, it's going, all right, they're men too, so kill them. So that's a problem in and of itself, but it's not transphobic necessarily. We could break that
So
down logically.
genocide is above transphobia then on the list of crimes. I guess genocide ranks pretty high up there above most things.
One thing I've been thinking about, um, Louis C.K., who's a comedian who I like he's a really good comic. Like he's just a veteran. He's been doing it for like 45 years now or whatever. Uh, he had a joke called like "Of course, but what if" or something like that. And the premise is like people with peanut allergies, like we should protect them by keeping, peanuts away from them and have peanut-free spaces. Of course we should do that. But what if we don't and then the human population gets stronger as a whole because the genetics die? And like I just realized that's a joke about eugenics.
Yeah, literally. That's funny.
Ah. So what have you been doing lately, like personally?
Um, what have I been doing? Nothing.
It's all right. We've
I
all.
uh I played Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Is it good?
Still playing it. I love it. It's actually my favorite Assassin's Creed game ever, which is saying a lot because I haven't liked many of the last ones. So Assassin's Creed 2 was my favorite one all the way up until now.
Yeah. I mean, all right, Assassin's Creed. Like I heard, it's like it's complicated as a franchise because they essentially went the Call of Duty route with it, where like every year they were pumping out a new Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, and the
So,
quality suffered,
yeah, are they
but
still
they
doing it
stopped
every year?
that. Now it's every 2 or 3 years now, and the
That's what's up.
games have gotten so much better because of it. It's crazy. As soon as they started the annual release, the quality of each game just dropped. And then they stopped and the quality went right back up. It's weird. It's almost like it takes more than 1 year to make a good game. Somebody should
Yeah,
tell Call of Duty. Although they have different studios making each game.
yeah.
Like
I'm I'm thinking like, what's the
every
next big game that I'm excited to like see come out? And like, I don't really have many. I think it's for me, it's just Resident Evil Village. Like that's the next one that comes out that I'm interested in. But other than that, like gaming, I don't know. It seems like not much is coming out this year.
yeah, it's not the best year so far for it. Um Yeah. I don't even know what is coming out. Most of the stuff is coming out next year, I think.
I think it's just difficult because right now, the next gen consoles that like are supposed to be getting pumped out they've been delayed for like 9 months now, or not really
Yeah,
9 months, but like 5-6 months
most
now.
people can't even get their hands on any of them.
Yeah, even consoles that aren't new, like Nintendo Switches, are very low in
Oh
stock
yeah,
too as well. Because I got my niece a Nintendo Switch for her birthday. Um,
nice.
yep.
It's a great gift.
Yeah, well, I figure because her mother died last year, I should probably spoil her by getting her a Switch and
Yeah.
then like 4 games. And like I spent so much money on that kid.
What games did you get?
I got her Spyro the Reignited trilogy. That's one of my
Nice.
favorite games.
So that's technically 3 games right there in
It
one.
is. It is. I got her Super Mario Party. She
Nice.
also has Just Dance 2020, and then some other Mario game. I can't remember the name of it. It's not Mario Kart, but some other one.
Super Mario 3D All Stars.
I don't know. I don't know. But then I got her like, all right, Best Buy. Okay. So me and Dave used to work at Best Buy. I know how things work in terms of
It's true.
shipping and like receiving stuff. I ordered one Mario like controller to go with her Nintendo Switch. So she would have the Joy-Cons and then the Joy-Con controller holder thing. And then she would have like a proper like joystick controller, like a DualShock controller, kind of whatever it is. Best Buy sent me 2 controllers for the price of one. And I know because I'm the one that used to send out orders. I know this is solely human error, and I'm just so glad
Hmm.
that someone fucked up and gave me an extra controller.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
How does something like that happen?
Literally human error where like either probably they were swamped with orders that day, depending on the store that you go to. Like our store was never crazy big or crazy busy with orders until holiday season. I didn't order this
Right.
during the holiday season, but with COVID and stuff still going around, I'm not sure how big, like, how busy they are. So it really is just how busy are they and how little are they paying attention to what they're doing. Anyway, yeah, got a free controller. It's nice.
Good deal.
Yep. That's why you shop at Best Buy, because they will fuck up your order. But sometimes they'll fuck it up in a good way.
Yeah. Every like 1 in 8 times might be a good one.
Oh, yeah, no, hold on. So, while we still had our Best Buy discount before we lost our jobs last year, I
Hmm.
bought I bought Christmas presents early for my, like, I didn't give them to her early, but I bought them and then hid them in the house. So I just had them for months.
That's smart.
Yeah, I know. I used my discount I also bought like 900 cables because those are like
Oh
12
yeah.
cents a
So
piece with
did
a
I.
discount. I'm
It's
mourning a Best Buy discount. For those watching, a Best Buy discount
yeah.
is 5% above what the store or what the company pays to get an item. So, say the company
Right.
pays $100 to get an item, you pay $105 as an employee. But like the markup could be,
Yeah.
say, $200 for normal people. So you'd be getting a $95 discount. The Best Buy discount
That's
is
right.
fucking the tits, bro. It's the best part about working at Best Buy.
Yeah. Any peripheral, is that the right word? Like cables, wall mounts, anything like that. The wall mount for my TV was like $150 wall mount. I got it for like $20. It's nuts.
Dead ass.
I
And even
miss that so much.
yeah, I mourned it every day. But anyway, I ordered so many fucking, like, I ordered toys and shit for Christmas. They fucked up the order. I ordered like a
Hmm.
Nerf gun because my niece likes Nerf guns, and they it wasn't a big one. It was like one of the small little pistols that's like maybe $5-6. They sent me a fucking Beyblade.
What?
Yeah, I know, it was fucking weird. And like, look,
Man.
I wasn't in the company at the time, so I couldn't go into the system to check why this happened. But like I was able to deduce looking at like the order and the UPC. The UPC is the same on a Beyblade as it is on the Nerf gun.
How?
I
I
don't
thought
know.
everything would have a different UPC. Wild.
Anyway, yeah, I don't know.
Did you give it to her? Did she let it rip?
Yeah, no, I gave it like, fuck it. I'm not gonna go complain to a store for like, they're probably like the same price anyway. And it's not
Mm-hmm.
like my niece is gonna be like, "Oh, you got me a Beyblade." She'll fucking play
Yeah.
with it for a bit.
Beyblades are fun.
Yeah, but oh fuck, I got her like the biggest fucking Nerf gun as well. I got her like a small pistol and then like a giant fucking like it takes like 6D batteries inside of it,
Yes, I have
and it
one of
has one of
those
the
too.
air compressors in it, so it shoots the darts hard as fuck. Like it
Mm-hmm.
hurts. It's like
That's
getting hit with a
awesome.
paintball.
Man, Nerf is great. I have a closet full of Nerf guns. Haven't touched them in years.
Uh, Fucking I don't know. If I had more space, I'd make her an armory of like Nerf guns.
It'd be so cool.
Yeah,
Buy a gun cabinet, fill it with Nerf guns.
yeah. Buy a gun safe, fill it with Nerf guns.
Mm-hmm.
Got to keep these puppies locked up.
That's right. The Second Amendment is for real guns, and we're gonna make the 28th Amendment for Nerf guns.
Yeah. So I learned that karma is a very real thing yesterday. You want me to tell you about it?
Please do.
So my cat, he'll scratch at the front door if he wants to go outside. So I go open the door for him to let him out. Because he's very much like a dog. He doesn't really, do anything in the house. He just goes outside and chills. So I opened the door for him, and it was raining. So he just sort of stood and looked at the door, like looked outside. And then, 60 seconds later, I'm like, all right, I'm just going to close the door because, we're letting heat out. We're not heating the outside cat. And then so I went to like step past him to close the door, and he took a swipe at my ankle, and like he's not declawed, so like he could have sliced my Achilles. He could have fucking
Mm-hmm.
I could have been dragging myself around.
Yeah.
I could have been dragging myself around. Like I can't think of a horror movie where someone's legs get like in Misery, like when he gets his legs
Yep.
fucked up and he has to sort of drag himself around.
That cat could have smashed your ankles with a sledgehammer.
He could have sliced my Achilles. Anyway, he went outside later that day, and he got shit stuck to his fucking ass. So fuck him.
Who cleans that though?
My mother, because it's not my fucking cat. It's
Oh,
really
nice.
hers.
Nice. Yeah, that's definitely
And
proof of
I
karma.
don't let her wear gloves. I take all the gloves in the house and I hide them. She'll go, Tre'von, do you have any gloves? And meanwhile, I'm just wearing one like Michael Jackson, and then I'm taking it off and discarding it because it's been used. Meanwhile, she's scraping cat shit off of his ass, off of his dumb cat ass, fucking gloveless.
Wow. That sounds like quite the Saturday night. Or
Yeah.
Sunday night.
Well,
This was yesterday.
the thing is, the cat wasn't willing to let her just fucking reach near his ass
Yeah,
like that. So he was
naturally.
running around the yard, and she was sort of chasing him around, and she ended up grabbing him by the tail, like kind of like the cat's a bluffing pussy. Like he was just like
Literally.
but like he didn't scratch at my mother at all. He's just like get away because like I don't know. The cat thinks he's about to be sodomized. You know what?
Can
I
you
would
blame
hiss
him?
too if a giant thing came out and grabbed me by the tail.
Yeah, me too. I would hiss and scratch and bite.
Yeah. So that
Have
I've Sorry.
What? No, go ahead.
Yeah, so a pretty eventful last few days.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Some highs and a lot of lows.
Yep. All right, so yeah, you want to wrap it for this podcast? I think that's it.
Real quick, one last thing. Have you
All right.
heard about this whole Lil Nas X Satan
Oh,
shoes thing?
David. Okay, never mind. We're talking about this for at least 15 more minutes. So he did a
I
deal with what, Nike or Jordan's, some
No,
shoe company.
it's a company called Mischief. They're using Nike shoes, but it's not at all affiliated with Nike.
And the
Uh,
shoes apparently have a drop of blood in them.
yeah, which I don't know how I feel about that aspect of it. It's a drop of blood from employees at Mischief. I don't know how legal that is to take your employees' blood.
Where's Mischief
I'm assuming
based?
it's, I have no idea. I'm assuming it would be like a voluntary situation. Like if you want to donate your blood for this,
Why would you
sign
assume
this
that,
form.
David? I assume it's like a Nestle or Amazon or Monsanto type situation where their employees are just hooked up being drained 24/7.
I
Their
mean,
employees
it's
are
just
being
one.
milked for blood.
They don't need that much blood though, because they only sold 1,018 pairs of shoes, and there's one drop of blood in each sole of the shoe.
Yeah, well, here's what I'm assuming. They take all the blood that they can from the employees, and they only use a drop in each shoe, and the rest that they just fucking kick into the street. They have water balloon. They have fucking blood
Yeah.
balloon fights with it. The rich
Blood
capitalist
balloon
overlords
fights.
have fucking
That's
Dick
oh, man.
Cheney and
That's QAnon
the
level right
king
there.
in England fucking drink that shit. Was it Prince Henry? That fucking
There is
old
no
fuck.
king in England currently.
Who's that old, like decrepit? The dude who's decaying before our very eyes.
They're all princes because the queen isn't married. Her
Oh,
husband died like
is it Prince Henry, the
100
one that
years
looks
ago, I think.
fucking like?
I don't
Hmm.
know which one. All I know is Harry is the one that got out,
Okay,
and he looks exactly like my cousin.
well, look, Dick Cheney is gonna drink this fucking blood to stay young,
Stay young?
stay alive. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, he ain't young anymore. I think he was just born an evil old skin bag.
I think he's a vampire.
Probably. That goes hand in hand with the blood balloon.
Yeah.
Vampires would totally have blood balloon fights. I would if I was a vampire. But
They have
anyway,
blood. They have blood car washes where the hot, sexy vampire is sudsing up her bosoms with fucking blood. Oh,
actually, a blood car wash, like if that'd be kind of a cool scene in the movie. Just going through a car wash, everything's normal, and then it's just blood.
yeah. In Final Destination, they drowned a girl like in her car,
Yeah.
but like there wasn't like a
No.
blood car
Didn't
wash
she get
thing.
out? I thought she almost died, and then they rescued her at the end.
I don't know.
Her friend, yeah, her friend drove in the other end of the car wash and pushed her car out.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. Anyway,
Your video is frozen, unless you're just really thinking hard.
am I good? We're good. Are we good?
Are you
Yes.
there?
Yes. No. I am here. I am here.
Oh.
We are. Are we good?
Now I
No.
see you moving, and I hear you
Okay.
again.
I'm moving. I'm moving, and I am talking. And let me know whenever things happen.
Now I don't.
I'm just gonna keep moving and talking. I am moving and talking. Can you hear me?
Very much pro.
What? Good? Are we good? Are we good? I am moving. I am talking. This
Okay.
is gonna suck.
Yeah, now we appear to be good.
Okay, we appear to be good. So, the blood shoes. Would you get them?
No. They're $666. I'm not spending that money on shoes.
So, like, all right, I'm an atheist. I don't care about this, but why is he embracing like this Satan image thing now? Like, I haven't seen his
Uh,
music video, but I heard he's like on a stripper pole going down to hell or whatever.
yeah, he goes down to hell on a pole, gives Satan a lap dance, and then kills Satan and takes his crown.
That's fucking awesome.
From what I've heard, it's him basically saying "f you" to all the religious people who told him his whole life that he was wrong just for being who he is because he's gay,
Oh, that's what's up.
and that
That's-
yeah, and now he's gonna burn in hell. So he's just like throwing it back in their face.
yeah, now he's really throwing it back. I saw him in the fucking pumps.
The outrage is so funny. People are like, "You made Old Town Road, and kids liked that song, so now you can't do anything that isn't 100% kid friendly."
Well,
And it's
I
like he clapped back on Twitter. I just said clapped back. Jesus, that sounded awful coming out of my mouth. He responded on Twitter, and he was like, "I sing about drinking lean and cheating on your significant other in Old Town Road. You let your kids listen to it. That's your problem."
yeah, it's like. Did you know this guy from Skillet, John Cooper, the frontman for Skillet? He came out and attacked Cardi B and Megan the Stallion, after their
The
Grammys performance, because he was like, "This
I
is
did not know that.
immoral.
Is he a
There's kids
conservative?
watching," and it's just like neither
God, these
neither
people are.
Meg or Cardi have promoted their music to kids. Like, if kids
Yeah,
listen to
right.
it, that's on the parents, but like they
It's
don't
like,
push
oh
their music
wow,
towards kids.
adults do things for adults instead of only kids. Like Lil Nas X is now the Wiggles, apparently.
Yeah, no, like his song Holiday has a lot of sexual references about bottoming. And it's just like my niece was listening to it and I'm like, I could tell this song is kind of inappropriate, but she likes the song innocently, so I think I'll let her
Hmm.
listen to it. But also, like, I can't blame him for like he wasn't marketing this towards kids.
Yeah, right. It's not like they're putting I don't know the name of the Satan song, but whatever it's called. It's not like they're putting it on Kids Bop 55 or whatever number they're up to.
Kids did you
Can you imagine WAP on Kids Bop?
I I'm not sure if there is I think there's a WAP version for Kids Bop, Dave.
No, there
I
can't be.
think there is. I think there is.
How? How
I,
could that possibly be?
I
That's something that these people could clutch their pearls about. I would, like, I'm not a prude, but I don't think WAP should be on Kids Bop. Although I don't think anything should be on Kids Bop because Kids Bop is trash. That's my hot take.
Kids Bop is like those like pop goes punk albums that happened in like the late 90s, early 2000s,
Yeah, I vaguely remember those.
where it would be like what's the song from White Chicks?
I don't know. I hated that movie, honestly.
David, no, you can't hate White
It's
Chicks.
it's it's such a bad movie. I never understood why people liked it. Although I
Why would
liked
people
Little
not like
Man, so who am I to judge?
is which one is that? Is that the Adam Sandler? No,
No,
that's
it's the Wayans brothers. They put one of the Wayans' faces on a toddler.
oh yeah, that one.
He's just he's supposed to be a little man, but it's literally just one of the Wayans' face CGI'd on a literal toddler. I haven't seen the movie in probably 15 years, but I know I liked it at the time. I'm afraid to rewatch it.
You know what movies like of course they don't hold up because they were so topical, but like the disaster movies where like they
Those
would
are awful.
they're not
Those
good.
never held up. They were never good.
They weren't good.
Those two guys that make all of those movies suck. Like, oh God, disaster movie, date movie. Uh, Here Come the Spartans or whatever that one is.
Did they
That
make the Scary
vampire
Movie
one.
franchise?
They did. They they didn't do the first one, and they didn't do the second one. Those were Wayans brothers movies. They did the third one on, which is why each one gets progressively worse. And then
They're
once
they're
they gave up on those,
they're
they
like
went
the
to doing
Russo
the other ones.
brothers, but of like of shitty comedies.
Yeah. It's like the lowest common denominator, bottom of the barrel comedy. Comedy.
Well, there's like comedy in a movie. It's hard to do because like
There's a lot of bad comedies out there.
yeah, there's a fuck ton of them, but like the good ones hold up because they understand comedy at like an actual functional level.
Yeah.
Like Jackass movies, they're comedies, but they're like Buster Keaton-esque. Like they can hold up because
That's
it's
very
purely
generous of you.
no, the fucking Jackass is like brilliant, Dave. It's brilliant.
It's sure. I'm not gonna argue that. I've never liked it, but there's definitely a place for it.
It's the physical Jackass is just physical comedy. It's like the Stooges, like the Three Stooges, where it's just like
Yeah, except that's fake.
no, it's not. They're actually poking each other in the eyes.
Not really.
Kinda. It's pretty real.
It's movie tricks.
Yeah.
They're not actually strapping a helmet on their head and inhaling farts until they vomit.
Oh, you mean Jackass? I thought we were talking about
Yeah.
the Stooges.
No, I'm saying the Stooges didn't do that. In Jackass, they do it.
I mean, yeah, it's physical comedy. It's hurting someone kind of comedy. It's that weird, primitive sort of
Yeah.
laughter
I've
that you get
never
from it.
understood it. It's not for me.
But even like what's a good comedy that you think holds up?
Three Amigos. I just rewatched it a couple days ago.
I'm trying to
Have
think
you
of.
ever seen the Three Amigos?
I have not.
Man, it's great.
Dude, where's my
what's
car?
another
Does that
one?
hold up?
I don't think so. I've yeah, I haven't seen it anytime recently, but I don't think it does. A lot of those 90s and 2000s movies, you think back on them fondly, and then you go and watch them, and it turns out they're like really homophobic and ableist
Really?
for no reason. Oh yeah, the R word. I don't like saying it. I also feel weird calling it the R word, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna say it. That got thrown around so much in the 90s. It's just randomly, casually in episodes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It was just on television. It's like, yikes, that does not age well.
I mean, aside from that though, Buffy is it's a good
Buffy's
show.
spectacular. I love Buffy.
Yeah. So Nas X, I respect him.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's wild that the people getting angry at him because he's hurting their children by making adult content not for children are the
Yeah.
same people who don't care about school shootings.
Yeah.
Like, let's focus on the issues that actually affect your children, like guns, maybe, rather than Lil Nas X making a pair of Satan shoes.
Yeah. I saw something on TikTok, once again referencing TikTok. I saw something on TikTok where like this girl was exposing her mother, her religious mother's verbal abuse of her, and her religious
Was
mother
it Claudia Conway?
no, it wasn't. That was great though when I mean it wasn't great, but like when that family got COVID and like Claudia was just fucking fed up with everyone and her mother was just being
Yeah.
a fucking huge bitch. That was my entertainment for like the week.
Yeah, that was a wild time.
But I saw this thing of like a Christian mother yelling at her daughter like, "What are you going to do when God comes down right now and raptures everyone and you're just left here because you're a sinner?" And it's just like, why are they so sure of themselves? There have been like 5,000 gods within
Yeah.
fiction. You know, How do you know you have the right one? What
It's
you're placing
total insanity.
also just like okay. I've also never seen a religious person answer, what does God do if you worshipped the wrong God?
They can't answer any questions. Like any simple logical question, they just can't answer. Like, how did two people populate the entire planet? Not possible. No answer for it.
I mean, there is an answer for it, but then it's like birth
Tons of
defects.
incest, but even then, the line would die out before the whole planet got populated.
Yeah.
Like, you would have to get so lucky. You'd have to have basically like twins, boy and girl, each time you got pregnant. And even then, I think with all the incest, it would just die out. So
I don't
yeah,
know.
no, it's not possible. But
Have you
they
ever
don't
tried
care.
reading
They
the
can't
Bible?
think about it.
It's fucking boring.
It's
Like
awful.
like you you hear about the Bible and you're like, "Oh, this is going to be like some mystical Lord of the Rings horseshit." No, it's pretty much a book of fucking rules.
Yeah, it's rules, parables, violent, hateful stories.
Yeah. I mean, I saw a video on TikTok. Um Again, coming back to TikTok, I've experienced so much TikTok within the last 3 days. But these white people were doing something. Um, some black person got some weird treatment in court where, like, they were getting favorable treatment. Not favorable, but they were getting proper treatment as a person. They were getting, like, justice or whatever as a
Right.
person of color. And, like, 3 white people gave speeches about how, like, God said you slaves, you were to beat your slave and whatever. And it's just like, the audacity of some white people.
I
The
will say though,
brazenness.
as awful as that is, I have a little bit more respect for them because that is what it says in there.
Yeah,
There are so many people that pick and choose. They're like, oh, well, no, slavery is obviously not good. So we
yeah.
disregard that part of the Bible. But the homophobia, that sticks around.
I like
Why?
the New Testament stuff, not the old stuff.
But the New Testament is just as violent and just as hateful.
Yeah, I'm not sure which part is worse. It's all fucking stupid.
Yeah, it is. But like, I actually just totally forgot what I said a second ago.
Mm-hmm.
um, Damn, I had another thought off of that one, but now I forgot it.
It's all right. I mean, look. At the end of the day, we all know Jesus was a person of color. So
Yeah.
we can end that there.
He was also just a dude.
Yeah, he was also yeah, just a guy, I guess. He
My
was also
my
probably not even
theory
real.
actually, my theory, I think there was a guy. My theory is it whatever his parents' names were, Mary and what's his name, they had sex, but it was taboo. They weren't allowed to. She probably would have been stoned to death if it had come out that that happened. So they came up with this elaborate lie. Oh, God impregnated me. And then they taught their kid that from the time he was born. So he truly believed it just so that she wouldn't get stoned to death. That's my theory.
Here's my theory, because we're gonna take this further. Okay, Mary and
What's his name? I don't remember.
Mary and what's his name? What's his name was a cuckold, and Mary had a breeding kink.
Oh my God. Wow, that's the ultimate cuckold.
You fucking
When
cuck your way into a
God
religion.
sits down your girl.
No,
Damn.
Mary at the time. We'll assume Mary was white for the sake of the
Okay, she
for the
definitely
fantasy.
wasn't, but
Mary
sure.
Mary was laying down with a large man of color, a man who
Mm,
could fill her in ways maybe the other guy couldn't. Anyway, that's
honestly,
why
yeah,
Jesus
I
was
believe
black.
it. Hmm.
Mary was Jesus is biracial. Jesus is fucking biracial. Now that I think of it.
Yep,
Am I Jesus, Dave? Am I Jesus? I'm Jesus.
we all are, my son.
You know, it's just weird that okay. Fuck it. I don't care. I don't feel like talking about religion anymore. It's stupid. It bores me.
I actually have a lot of thoughts on it, but yeah, right now, probably not the best time.
So here's one thing that I've discovered that I hate vehemently. White women who claim to be witches or psychics or mediums.
For a
Um,
second, I thought you were just going to say white women.
oh, I mean, I could leave it at that. You know, these goofy bitches annoy me sometimes. No, all right, look, if we're gonna just attack white women, let's go for it. White women annoy
No,
me
no,
when
no.
they. All right, fine. I won't. White women annoy me in this one instance. In this one
I
instance,
love some of them.
I love some white women. Yes, I love the criminals, the rapists. I assume some are good people. Look, white women that terrific. Great people, good people.
You sound more like Bernie Sanders with
I
that
know.
voice.
I know. I was I didn't have a grasp on the I started sounding like Judd Hirsch in Independence Day.
Yeah,
Uh but so
witches and psychics.
yeah, witches, psychic, medium. I saw a woman on TikTok going like, "Oh, I had this connection in a store and I talked to this woman near me and I was like, by the chance, did you have a loved one pass away recently?" And she was like, "Yes." And I was like, "Oh, I just and this is and it's just fuck you, you fucking cunt."
I hate that. Yeah. I don't want to lump witches in with those people because I think there are a lot of good meaning, well intentioned Wiccans and witches,
Well, I think
but mediums and psychics are shysters and grifters.
well from what I think I know, like witchcraft and stuff, I thought that was like of Haitian sort of kind of origin and it's like a traditional thing. So when I see white women do it, I'm
I
like,
think
"Are
it's
you just fucking
been
stealing
around.
this?"
I think it's been around everywhere forever.
Fair enough. I could be wrong, but either way, I still think it's bullshit and it annoys me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not super into it, but I also don't know too much about it. I know there are a lot of different types of witches, and some of them are just like they just sit around in nature and like meditate,
That's a
and I don't see
hippie.
anything wrong with that. Yeah, basically. I mean,
You know
it's
what?
all just made up labels, right?
You know what else I hate?
We're all just energy interacting with other energy.
Yeah. You know what else I hate? Naturopaths.
What exactly is that?
Okay, those are the people that are like, man, nature gives us everything we need. Don't go to big pharma for all this. For
Oh,
nature can heal anything. Get herbs and spice. My sister is one of these people that are like, oh, I only take herbs. I don't go to fucking give me this big pharma horse shit for a headache. It's just like you're denying that literally human life has expanded. The life expectancy has grown exponentially with the rise of modern medicine. Yet
yeah.
they're like,
I
oh,
mean,
herbs and spices and
you could take that even further. Oh, I don't drive a car. Cars don't come from nature. Like, where does it end?
yeah. Well, it's not
I don't
the
wear
people.
clothes. Clothes aren't found in nature.
Yeah. I
Have
only
you heard
do
of
things found
forest
in nature.
baths?
What?
Forest baths?
What are they, Dave? It's gonna be
You
stupid
get
and I'm gonna be
naked and
upset.
just like you get naked and walk into the forest and just like take it in, bathe in the forest.
I thought it was supposed to be some hygienic thing where like you lay there and you let the essence of the forest affect your smell, and I'm like, that doesn't work whatsoever.
I mean, if you lay in the forest long enough, your smell will change.
Yes, but people need to acknowledge that forests smell musty. I've been in plenty of woods. They smell
Eh,
pretty musty.
I think it depends on the forest. Depends
There's
on the forest, and it depends on the weather and the time of year.
Now that we're talking about forests, do you believe in Bigfoot?
No.
Okay, look.
Do you?
I'm not saying I'm not saying
I
I'm
think you
100%.
do.
I'm not saying I'm 100% convinced either way. But I heard a really good case for Bigfoot made, and the case is Bigfoot can. What if it exists just in really really small pockets? Like maybe it's really close to endangered. Like maybe 60 of them on the planet or whatever.
Hmm.
And then the argument that I heard was like, oh well, why haven't we found like a dead Bigfoot at all?
Ever.
And all right, here's my thing though. The argument was, how many times have you been in the woods and you've stumbled across a dead bear, a dead moose, like really big animals? You don't stumble across dead bodies of them because they're consumed and eaten and dragged in many different areas. The same could be said for a Bigfoot. Now, I'm not saying I believe in a Bigfoot, but that's a
You
weirdly
you
logical
do
argument to
find
me.
bones. I have found bones in the woods.
Of a bear, of like a moose, of like really big animals, or of
Well, I
deer.
don't have moose around me here. I found deer bones. I found uh I think it was a fox skull. It was either a fox or a cat, but it couldn't have been a cat. So I think it was a fox. Just smaller stuff mostly, I guess. But I don't think that's evidence that Bigfoot exists. And I think scientists would have found proof.
See, that's fair enough. But I'm just saying, what if it's in such small? I don't know. I don't fucking care. I'm not that invested. I heard someone disprove megalodon, like the giant shark, in the
Hmm.
smartest way ever. That like I actually understand it. So back in whatever era, the Earth was very rich in oxygen. Like the oceans were rich in oxygen, and the rest of the planet was rich in oxygen. So we had huge plants and huge dinosaurs and huge creatures because they were just so oxygenated. They were allowed to grow bigger. But as the Earth has gone on, there is less and less oxygen. So those big creatures that require uh, both other big creatures to consume and more oxygen to stay growing big started to die off. So that essentially uh, proved to me why Megalodon is dead, because there's not enough big creatures for it to consume. It would starve off. Also, not enough oxygen for it to like live healthily, I guess. So yeah,
Makes
that's
sense.
yeah. I don't know. I wish all these cool things. I mean, look, the ocean scares me, and I'm sure there's some crazy stuff that we don't know about. Did you?
Hmm.
There's a lizard, there's a marine iguana. I think that's what they're called. It looks like a Godzilla, and it swims in the ocean. And like I saw a video of it, and if I ever fucking was in a pond of water or a body of water, and I saw it, I would fucking die on sight.
How big is it?
they're, I think they're like maybe I don't know 2.5 feet, but maybe 3 feet. But like the look of them are so fucking creepy, my guy. Like I'd have to fucking I'd die so quickly. They're just creepy.
I don't know. I think Godzilla's cute.
What's an irrational fear that you have?
I don't know. I know I have them, but I can't think of them right now. All I can think of are my rational fears, like physical pain. That's probably my biggest fear of all time. Irrational fears. There's so many little things. Getting glitter in my eyeball.
Ah, Dave, why'd you have to say that? I don't even like that. Oh, that's really awful. Because glitter is synthetic, so it's not going to degrade that easily.
Yeah, no, it's like it sticks to moist things too. So that's just going to stick right to your eye. Also, this one's very irrational, but I've recently gotten into bath bombs. They're fantastic. I've gotten some from Lush, and this one had glitter all in it. And it was not glitter, I guess, some kind of sparkles, like natural,
Yeah.
not like harmful glitter. But the tub is just full of sparkles. And I'm like freaking out in my mind, like, are these sparkles just gonna like get inside of my penis and just hang out there forever until I pee again? But that's not how penises work. They don't just suck in water if you're underwater. But I just couldn't get it out of my head. Like, I'm gonna have sparkles all inside of me.
My irrational fear, I'd say I have two. The ocean is a pretty big one, because it's
See, that seems pretty
74% of the Earth or
rational to
whatever.
me, though.
I think it's rational. But like I really fucking like I would never go on a cruise. I would fucking I don't even want to be in a big pond, to be honest. Like who
Oh, really?
who
Are
the
you just afraid of like bodies of water in general?
yes, because I'm not adapted. I'm not well adapted to be within them. Also, like the things in them, water snakes, even fucking weird fish. Like
Yeah.
I don't want them near me. I don't want to touch them.
See, that's rational though. Like those things can bite you. I don't like natural bodies of water very much. I try to stay out of them, mostly because of snakes and bugs and things.
Snakes are awful, my guy. Snakes fucking awful. You know what?
I love
Australia.
snakes.
Australia. Fuck Australia.
The people are lovely, but yeah, every animal there wants to kill you.
The people in Australia, they're like, "Oh, this is my bathroom," and I can't do an Australian accent. Oh, this is my
This is my
bathroom,
bathroom. Oh, I can't do it either. Oh man.
and this is Charlie. No, this is my loo, and this is Charlie, the spider that hangs out in the fucking toilet bowl.
Yeah.
And
He's
it's just
bigger
like,
than my hand.
who the fuck wants to live there?
Yeah, it's wild. There's so many giant snakes and spiders and bugs and
Yeah,
animals, and they'll all
and
kill you.
and there's these giant cunty birds. Not giant cunty birds, but there's these cunty birds that for like a season a year just dive bomb random people and leave people with concussions and shit in
Really?
Australia. Yeah,
That's great.
they're just fucking angry.
They're drop bears, which I think are the same thing. I think koalas are drop bears,
Oh, the bears that
but
like
they
fall
might be a
asleep and
slightly
fall
different
off of
species.
a tree and fucking
No,
hit people.
they leap out onto people.
Oh, willingly? That's
Yeah,
disgusting.
but they're relatively harmless, I think, because they're pretty small.
But like, if a fucking koala-sized thing jumped on me from a tree, I'd freak the fuck out.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen like a monkey? Fucking just they're so strong. Like I would assume I'm getting attacked by a monkey, and then I'd think of like the chimp face lady.
God. Well, don't drink wine and Ambien with your chimp roommate.
Was the chimp on Ambien?
I'm pretty sure, I don't remember if it was specifically Ambien, but I know for a fact that she said she gave it wine all the time. And I'm
Uh,
almost positive I remember her saying she gave it some kind of prescription pills to mellow it out because the wine made it too crazy.
She's acting like a fucking chimp pharmacist.
Yeah, she's acting like a lunatic. You don't live with a wild animal like that.
Speaking of like weird like bodily damage situations from way back when, like from the 2000s. So like the big things that stand out to me from that time period was like the chimp attack lady, because her fucking face got ripped off. And then the
Yeah.
McDonald's coffee lady, who deserves every fucking cent that she got. She got slandered by McDonald's.
Did she? I don't remember the details.
So a woman goes to McDonald's, gets coffee, and as she's like driving away, she spills it on her lap and gets 3rd-degree burns, like severe burns. She needs like skin grafts and whatnot. And then she sues McDonald's. Now McDonald's corporate or whatever starts like doing PR to try and damage control the situation. So they try and paint it up as like a frivolous lawsuit, but it showed like studies had shown that McDonald's was serving their coffee at an unreasonably hot temperature because they were offering, I think, like free refills on coffee or something. So what they would do is they'd give extra hot coffee so people would wait to drink it until they got further away from the store, like the McDonald's store, so they wouldn't come back for a refill. So essentially, like McDonald's really did. Also, there was like not clear labeling of how hot the coffee was and how dangerous it was on the cup. Like that woman deserved all the money she got.
Yeah, that's kind of a typical corporate move there. Let's make it hotter so it takes longer to drink, so they're less likely to get a free refill.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah. Oh, my other irrational fear is heights. Like,
Again, I don't think that's super irrational.
it is irrational because like all right, our old job, I worked in the warehouse for Best Buy. We had a lift called Big Joe where you could go up to our top our shelves that we had in the warehouse that were like 30 feet high. Now Big Joe is safe, like logistically. Like the company doesn't want to have a dangerous thing for their workers to use because that's a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Strap in on there and everything.
Yeah, you strap in, there's chains all around you, so there's literally no way to fall out. But going up to the top shelf always freaked me out on that thing.
Yeah, that's a little irrational.
Like there's safety. Also, I remember being a kid. We went to Zoom Flume Water Park, and I remember there was this water slide that you had to climb like a 4-story stairwell to get to. But it wasn't like stairwell carved into the side of a mountain or attached to a building. It was like just this wooden stairwell built up, made of like wooden planks. So as I was getting up to it, I had like a panic attack because it was just getting higher, and I didn't feel fucking comfortable, and I had to go fucking back down. I didn't even go on the water slide. I bitched out.
The water slide's the best way to go down.
I've gone down in better ways, David. Ooh.
Was water involved?
It was water soluble. I don't know what that means. It was thick water.
Viscous, would you say?
Like drinking lotion.
Oh, God.
All right. Well, with that being said, thanks for tuning in to the 8th episode of the Mantastical Podcast.
Can you believe it?
In the next one. Bye, guys.
Bye.